Testing. Jtm Pedas hari ini. So, representing U-Learning today. So, I hope everyone will forgive me, right, if I have my speech here in English, right? My Malay is definitely not the best, but I hope everyone can understand each other. So, of course, throughout our segment here today, if you would like to know more, please feel more than happy to actually just ask us questions, yeah? So today, what we are looking at is actually a segment. Testing. Okay, boleh. Okay, sorry for the technical issues, yeah? So today we'll be looking at a segment where how we are giving some insights as well as sharing our experience in how we are using AI to actually facilitate as well as to enhance teaching and learning today. Because I think everyone here at some point of your life, you might have thought of something very simple, but also very peculiar, right? Something very weird. Why? We can see on other different parts of industry, for example, transportation, right? Sebelum ni kita semua jalan kaki kan, dan lepas tu kita ada kuda, right? We have carriages, tapi hari ni kita ada kereta, right? We have cars, we have lorries, we have different modes of transport over sea, over air. But something definitely very weird here was that with education in general, you might have thought, how come even decades ago or even centuries ago, the teaching, the way we actually have our classes here today is exactly the same. Sure, the materials of your tables might have changed. It may used to be wood, now it could be plastic or even metal, right? But in any case, the way that we have our teaching and learning has not changed. It has always been one-to-many, a teacher standing at the front, single-sidedly giving you information as you try to hold on to as much information as you can and hopefully bring them out of the classroom so that you can study them later on. So what if I told you today we are actually using AI as well as technology in general to actually speed up, enhance, and also to make that particular process much more enjoyable for both our teachers and our fellow students here today. But of course, there is also something that I would like to add on later, that not only it helps students, but it also may give you some kind of troubles later on, yeah? So you might want to listen up for that as well. So starting off, just a bit of quick introductions here, right? Here we are actually just having a brief introduction about the company that we are actually working very closely with. Huawei and U-Learning here has been working together to approach the global market to actually have our solutions implemented for different educational institutions, from higher education like universities to K-12, right? Our primary and middle school, as well as TVH colleges that we have all of our students here coming from today. So currently, we are actually assisting and working closely together with well over 10 million users worldwide from over thousands of e-paying institutions from different parts of the world, Africa, Latin America. So we can actually look at from the next slide. Slide setters me. Okay, thank you. Here we can actually see, right, our solutions have actually been implemented over very largely across different parts of the world, going from Asia Pacific to Latin America, as well as to Africa. And obviously we start off all the way back in China. So that's where the majority of our solutions currently house, yeah? So can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So here we would like to actually show you some of our more interesting infrastructures that we are actually currently facing today, right? Because you can think of this as also a form of trends, right? Essentially, these are demands that we commonly face when it comes to different regions in our entire globe, right? Where we actually see not only requirements for standard teaching, but also how technology can be used for that particular purpose. So you can see on the very top, we have things like full process operation teaching. This is where we are slowly but surely using technology as well as AI to support your pre-class preparations. For example, how AI can help teachers to prepare for content, for example, PowerPoints, before even the start of the class, and how AI can actually help students to learn, to answer your questions, to help you with navigating through difficult courses before you even start it. And during class, how we can actually use AI to actually help not only our teachers to navigate through class sessions better, but to actually give students a fair, equal chance to participate in class sessions no matter where you are. This basically means that even if you are sitting in Pedas here today, you may also be able to join classes from KL, from anywhere else that is not only limited to Malaysia, but even some other parts of the world. And you can also have technology to help you, where you can actually have AI to help you with questions that you may have, how much so that basically, essentially, every student can have your own teachers now. Yeah. So how about after class? After class has ended, the teachers will obviously give you homework and will obviously give you exams. So I always hear this question, right, from my fellow students saying that it's very troublesome and it's also very hectic that every day you have to work on so many different homework and assignments, right? Everyone here has basically went through this issue at some point of their life, having very, very much loads of homework that they need to actually go through on a day-to-day basis. But has anyone assisted teachers with the grading of their homeworks? Have you ever thought of that, right? Every classes is one teacher to maybe 30 or 40 students, right? Then every student is complaining about 4 to 5 homeworks that they need to do every day. But every teacher, none teacher has ever complained about having 40 students homework to grade, right? So how AI is going to help in that particular case? How AI, we can use them to not only help the teachers with assessments, but to also help teachers with understanding our classrooms better, whether our students are paying attention or not, right? Whether throughout your classes, are you focusing on what the teacher is saying or not? And at the same time, on the student's end, you can also be able to see whether the teachers, how are they teaching? What kind of attitude and what kind of behavior they are using? And how does that reflect on you? So maybe that would be the first way we can get some insight in terms of how we can improve this two-way interaction, right? This was supposed to be a two-way interaction because from our experiences as well as history actually have taught us that just one-sided information transferring doesn't really work in the long run, because in most cases, we will face the pain points that we are obviously facing nowadays, where students might lose interest, they might not listen to all of our class sessions throughout the entire, because every day it's actually 8 hours of listening to teachers, one way giving out information. So it's actually might be a very hard option for the students to go through the entire thing. But what if I told you it was supposed to be a flipped classroom? What if I told you it's supposed to be two-way, where not only the teachers are giving information for the students, but also students will have this chance to communicate with the teachers and also get information, and as well as maybe give some knowledge and insights to the teachers themselves as well, right? So aside from our full process operations, we are also looking at segments where we have our smart course solutions, where we are slowly implementing different functionalities like AI, as well as 3D digital avatars, right? So we actually see this later on in the video that I will show you, but basically nowadays, we can even generate digital avatars so that the teachers, right, they can give you PowerPoints, but sometimes reading through PowerPoints might be a bit hard to understand because at the end of the day, those are just text. So nowadays, we are actually using extra functionalities from 3D digital avatar. Imagine as you are actually going through your PowerPoints, you will have a teacher, right, your own teachers, digital avatars, standing at the side of the PowerPoint, explaining them to you as you go through them, essentially making it much more easier to understand, much more digestible as well. So maybe this is also something that we can consider for our future. Yeah. Then last but not least, smart teaching and digital learning space. This is something that I will actually wanted to highlight as well, right? With today's classroom, traditional classroom sessions, we are facing a lot of different pain points, but this is also why we wanted to introduce functionalities, solutions, and in general, technology that is able to assist with different pain points that we commonly face in our classrooms here today. For example, digital classroom is one of our most common setups, but it's also one of the most widely used solutions because it's very simple to set up, and it also allows so that you have technology that can assist with your pre-class preparation, your during class interaction, as well as your after class assessments, the same way that you can have your remote class sessions, right? This is something that we are also doing right now with JTM, right? With a lot of participating schools that have joined our POC projects, where we are allowing six different schools, right? Led by the one in Pasir Gudang, right? As well as, Senai, right? And Pasir Gudang, as well as other participating colleges, TVET colleges, where they are able to actually join in on remote class sessions, no matter where they are from, to actually have what we refer to as a dual teacher teaching scenario, as well as flipped classrooms. So these are very common trends as well as terms that you may hear nowadays when it comes to advanced teaching scenarios and scenarios that are able to overcome some of the issues that we may face today, such as the gap of teaching and learning quality. Right? So next slide, please. So here we just want to quickly share to you some of the things that we have done in the past with various schools that have worked together with us, going from Asia, right, where we actually work together with TVET colleges. You may see this picture over there, but this is actually the prime success cases that I just mentioned earlier, where we work together with JTM to actually implement our solutions for 6 selected schools across 6 different classrooms, so that they are able to first start off with the experience of technology. And we wish to actually further progress this particular initiative so that we are able to replicate this particular solution so that its benefits can be not only enjoyed, read, but also experienced by our teachers, our students, as well as our